Entering the 2006-2007 season, the NBA was looking for its next big thing. But with the dominant 2000s Lakers in the rearview mirror, Steve Nash controversially winning 2 back-to-back MVPs in the years prior, and an extremely fishy NBA Finals taking place just 3 months earlier, the association's reputation was slowly falling compared to other sports. There were certainly some strong candidates to take the reins, with a young LeBron James leading the dreadful Cavaliers to consecutive playoff appearances, 24-year-old Dwayne Wade being the best player on the 2006 NBA champs, and Kobe Bryant being undoubtedly the best player in the league on the biggest market. However, the player who ultimately won the MVP and led a large market to the top seed in the West was Dirk Nowitzki, the 9-year NBA veteran who was a couple of games away from taking Dallas to their first ever title just a year prior. The pieces were in place for Nowitzki to take the reins as the best player in the world. All he needed was a playoff run similar to last season's, and the Mavericks could very easily win the NBA Finals. But then, reality hit. And all of a sudden, the 67-win Mavericks lost in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs to the now infamous We Believe in Warriors. And Dirk Nowitzki went from someone who could have been the best to someone who was viewed as a playoff choker that couldn't come up in the big moments. Nowitzki's reputation plummeted after this loss, to the point where before the 2006-2008 season, just 1 year removed from Dirk's MVP, NBA aficionado Bill Simmons ranked Dirk Nowitzki 12th in his annual trade value list under guys like Carlos Boozer simply because of his playoff shortcomings. It looked as though Dirk's career would be remembered like the aforementioned Steve Nash, or maybe how we view Chris Paul now. Great regular season players that might win an MVP or two and lead your team to a top seed, but not good enough in the playoffs to win your franchise a ring. Dirk continued on this path for a couple more seasons until we reached the 2010-2011 season, where the Mavericks finished with their best record since the 2006-2007 season, winning 57 games off of Dirk's 23 points a night. But with Dirk slowly getting up there in age and the Western Conference getting better each year, the Mavericks championship window was closing. This was Dirk's last chance to escape the ridicule held by countless NBA all-timers and cement himself as a legend of the sport. But as I said before, the path to glory wouldn't be easy. Because even if Dallas somehow made it to the NBA Finals, they would likely run into the newly formed Big Three in Miami, which consisted of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. So, would Dirk overcome the odds and win his first NBA title, or would the pressure ultimately get to him once again, costing him a chance at immortality? My name is Julian with Talkback Sports, and today we're going to go through the playoff run that would ultimately make or break Dirk Nowitzki's legacy. But before we get started, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel as we are on the road to 500 subscribers. It would be greatly appreciated and help recommend these type of videos to NBA fans like you. So remember to leave a like and subscribe, and let's start off by talking about the 2011 Mavericks first round matchup against the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers won 48 games in 2011, which was enough to capture the 6th seed in the NBA playoffs. And what made this team so dangerous was the slow pace they played at, allowing only 75.8 shots per game, the least amount in the NBA, as well as a style of defense that forced 15.7 turnovers per game, the 4th most in the NBA. Leading the way offensively for the Trailblazers was LaMarcus Aldridge, the 25-year-old forward who put up 23 points a night as a dominant inside-the-arc threat. Joining Aldridge was 24-year-old Wesley Matthews, who put up 16 a night as a 40% three-point shooter, Gerald Wallace, a former All-Star who also put up 16 a night, and Brandon Roy, though Roy would only put up 12 a night as he was dealing with injuries that would prematurely end his career. This was not an easy first-round matchup for the Mavericks, and through 4 games, this series was tied 2-2, with the home team winning each contest. Dirk was incredible in the Mavericks' first 3 games, scoring a team-high 28 and 33 points in the first 2 Mavericks home games, and 25 points in the Mavericks Game 3 loss at Portland. However, it was Game 4 where Dirk played a subpar game, shooting 7 for 17 from the field and turning the ball over 4 times in what turned out to be a 2-point loss. The series was heading back to Dallas for a pivotal Game 5, where Dirk needed to show out in order to regain control of the series. and thankfully, he bounced back and put up 25 points and 8 rebounds to secure a 93-82 victory and a 3-2 series lead. Game 6 would be held in Portland, where the Mavericks were 0-2 at that point, but Dirk and the Mavericks didn't allow this series to go back to Dallas, as a 33-point performance by Nowitzki would be enough to lift the Mavericks past the Trailblazers and advance to the second round to take on the defending champions. The Los Angeles Lakers in 2011 were coming off 3 straight NBA Finals appearances and 2 straight NBA titles. And after finishing the regular season with 57 wins, the Lakers finished as the 2nd seed to the Mavericks' 3rd seed and would ultimately hold home court advantage over Dallas. This would arguably be the Mavericks' toughest test out west after the Memphis Grizzlies shockingly defeated the top-seeded Spurs in the first round. And with Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol hungry to finish a second Lakers three-peat in 10 years, the odds felt like they were in LA's favor. However, Dallas came out strong in LA and ultimately stole home court advantage behind 2 amazing games by Dirk to go up 2-0 on the defending champs. Then came Game 3 in Dallas, where the Lakers came out strong and held a 6-point lead heading into the 4th quarter. But behind Dirk's 9 points and Peja Stojakovic's 11 points in the 4th, the Mavericks stole the win and took a 3-0 lead. And at this point, the Mavericks completely demoralized the Lakers. And in Game 4, the Mavericks won by 36 points behind a combined 75 points from Jason Terry, Peja Stojakovic, and JJ Barea. For the series, Dirk put up 25 points and 9 boards a night while shooting 57% from the field and a staggering 72.7% from 3. For the first time in years, it looked like Dirk was ready for the big moment. But in order to make the final judgment, we had to see how he performed in the Western Conference Finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder was, as you know, one of the brightest and up-and-coming teams in NBA history, with 3 eventual MVPs in Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. But at this time, each guy was 22 or younger and just finding their footing in the league. However, after impressive showings against the Nuggets in Round 1 and the Grizzlies in Round 2, the process was sped up for the Baby Thunder, as they would find themselves in the conference finals without having to face veteran teams like the Spurs and Lakers. Unfortunately for them, the Thunder would run into a presumed buzzsaw that was the Dallas Mavericks, and in Game 1, Nowitzki put up 48 points, the second highest mark in his playoff career, to secure a 9-point victory and a 1-0 series lead. And from there, despite a solid all-around showing from the Thunder in Game 2, the Mavericks made quick work of the inexperienced Thunder and ultimately won the Western Conference Finals in 5 games. And like the previous 2 series, Dirk played incredibly, putting up 32 a game and leading the Mavericks to their second finals appearance in franchise history. But unfortunately for Dirk, his legacy would ultimately be placed against the Miami Heat, who lost only 3 games on their way to the NBA Finals. And obviously, the storyline here was the Heat's Big 3 making it to the NBA Finals in their first year together, with LeBron James looking for his first NBA title. And joining him was Dwayne Wade, who defeated the Mavericks in the NBA Finals in 2006, and Chris Bosh, the interior threat who was a multiple-time All-Star in Toronto. This team felt unbeatable at the time, and all signs led to many to pick the Heat to win this series. And in Game 1, the Mavericks fell to the Heat despite Dirk's 27-point performance. In this game, Dallas scored only 84 points and shot 37% from the field, and outside of Dirk, had only 2 double-digit scores. Thankfully for the Mavericks, they turned it around in Game 2 and edged out a 2-point win in Miami thanks to Dirk and Shawn Marion scoring over 20 apiece. What really sealed the deal for the Mavericks in this one was their 4th quarter performance, where they outscored the Heat by 6 points in a 2-point victory. It was in this quarter that LeBron had his infamous 0 for 4 shooting night that caused many to question his clutchness. But as the best player in the world, many didn't expect his 4th quarter struggles to continue. And in Game 3, despite Dirk's 34-point, 11-rebound performance, the Heat won by 2 points in Dallas to take a 2-1 series lead. But again, like in Game 2, LeBron played poorly in the 4th quarter, making only 1 shot and turning the ball over twice. Thankfully for Miami, Wade and Bosh stepped up with 7 apiece in the 4th to take command in this series. Game 4 would be crucial for the Mavericks, as you don't want to fall behind 3-1 against a team led by 3 top 15 players in the world. But in another close game, the Mavericks outscored the Heat by 7 points in the fourth quarter to steal a 3-point victory in Dallas and tie the series up 2-2. This victory can be credited to an all-around effort from the Mavericks, as 5 guys scored in double figures to bail out Dirk's subpar 6 for 19 shooting night. Still, Dallas didn't have much time to celebrate, as just 2 nights later, the incredibly important Game 5 took place, and behind Dirk's 29 points and 21 points from Jason Terry, the Mavericks held a 3-2 lead in the NBA Finals and needed only one more win to secure their franchise's first title. The Heat played an all-around poor game, and once again, the storyline with this one was LeBron's poor fourth quarter performance, as he shot 1 for 4 from the field in the fourth and 8 for 19 for the entire game. So with the series at 3-2 in Dallas's favor, the series would head back to Miami for Game 6 and a potential Game 7. Just one more win for the Mavericks would secure Dirk's legacy, and despite a poor 9 for 27 shooting night, Dallas took home Game 6 in a 10-point victory and brought home the franchise's first title. It was once again Jason Terry who put up a game-high 27 points, but it was ultimately Dirk who brought home the Finals MVP trophy, averaging 26 points and 10 rebounds for the entire series. This playoff run is often regarded as one of the greatest of the 21st century, as the amount of future Hall of Famers the Mavericks had to go through to take home the Larry O'Brien is absurd. And the main reason why Dallas took home that trophy is because of Dirk Nowitzki, who put the playoff choking allegations to rest and ultimately cemented his legacy with this singular playoff run. But still today, we see many young stars slandered for their playoff performances despite having many more years in the league to come. Take for example Jason Tatum in the 2024 playoffs. Has his performance been up to the standard you would like from a superstar? Absolutely not. But that doesn't mean we should crown him as a playoff choker. Tatum is still only 26 years old and has already made numerous conference finals and has an NBA Finals appearance under his belt. And if you compare that to some of the all-time greats in this league, their playoff resumes don't compare to Tatum's after 7 years in the league. What Dirk and many other legends have proven time and time again is don't write off any superstar based on their early playoff careers, because it only takes one run to cement your legacy. And for Dirk, he will go down as a man who defeated Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James all in one playoff run to win an NBA title. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'm Julian with Talkback Sports, and I'll see you next time.